question for you. Which bus would you
On the road!
What an encouragement to see. Okay, maybe I'll just take it off here if I can. All right. How wonderful to see all of you. How encouraging. Do you like our bus? What a beautiful crowd. You know, we are here today. I'm Marilyn Musgrave with Susan B. Anthony List, and we are here today, and we are with Lila Rose. How about it, folks? What an infusion of courage and passion into the pro-life movement just when we needed it most. But we are here today, first of all, to thank two members of Congress, and I've been a member of Congress, and I can tell you sometimes when you take a stand for what's right, Washington can be the loneliest place in the world. And sometimes you aren't hearing from the folks out there that really support the sanctity of human life or traditional marriage. You aren't hearing from them, but I'll tell you, they are hearing from us now. Joe Walsh, Randy Hultgren, the ones that had the courage to stand up for Planned Parenthood. And what about Planned Parenthood? $1 billion a year organization. $1 billion a year. 1/4 of their budget comes from the American taxpayer. Translation, you and me. They use our tax dollars as they perform over 330,000 abortions. That is something we cannot measure. We cannot measure the harm of what that causes to this nation. And they want our tax dollars to do it. Now, Planned Parenthood has a dirty little secret that the media has never wanted to investigate or reveal. Margaret Sanger, the founder, a eugenist, someone who said the poor, the immigrants, the minorities, children are human weeds, that they're irresponsible breeders. That is the founding of Planned Parenthood. Think of that. And with Lila Rose and Live Action's work, we have gotten a hellish glimpse into Planned Parenthood's clinics today. Now, this is a David and Goliath moment when you think about it. $1 billion organization, the largest abortion provider in this country, getting over $360 million from us, the taxpayers, and then us, moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas, people around this country who revere the sanctity of human life. But we are at a time in our country where we're at a fiscal crisis. We all know that. We all know the burden of debt on these precious kids around here. We all know what kind of a future we're giving them if we don't rein in spending. So we're at a fiscal crisis, and we're at a time of moral outrage. When we take a glimpse into these clinics, and Lila, God bless you for your work, we see Planned Parenthood workers all too willing to aid and abet sex trafficking. Now, I'm a mother of 4, grandmother 11 is on the way. Number 11 is on the way. And when I look into the faces of my daughters and my little granddaughters, and I think of what goes on in these Planned Parenthood facilities with kids that for whatever reason have been drawn into the sex trafficking, is someone there going to help these kids? No. They don't care about statutory rape. They don't care about the minor status of the girl. They don't care about her physical health, her emotional health, her spiritual well-being. And we are saying at this time, no more tax dollars for Planned Parenthood. No more. So Washington needs to hear our message. You know, there are so many in the pro-life movement who have been faithful since Roe v. Wade, that have fought the fight all these years. And I think God knew when we needed an infusion of energy and courage and renewed passion. And that is brought today through the person of Lila Rose. Lila.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be here with all of you, so many brave activists and those that have been standing strong here in and even in Chicago and in this state to speak out for life, to speak out on behalf of those that are most defenseless in our country, our weakest members of society, our brothers and sisters, the unborn, who become the victim of the great violence of abortion in these Planned Parenthood tax-funded clinics every day across our country. So we're standing up for their rights, for the greatest human rights abuse, against that greatest human rights abuse, and to protect our women, and to protect our young women from the lies, the manipulation, and the abuse cover-up that is happening every day at these clinics across our country. It's an honor to be with many of you. I see some familiar faces. It's an honor to be here with Joe Scheidler, who's a personal hero of mine. Joe, I'm in this, and all these young people are looking up to the example of you and many others who have been standing strong for so many years, and we're building on the work of your shoulders, and we're going to end it. We're going to end abortion in our country. And it starts with ending the funding of Planned Parenthood, and that's step one, and then we're going to go to step two, and we're going to make sure that every human life is protected in our country, and that this abusive organization no longer continues to exploit our unborn children and to exploit our women and our young girls. We've been doing investigative work now, Live Action. I serve as the president, has been doing investigative work of Planned Parenthood for almost 4 years now. I'm 22 years old. I just graduated from UCLA. Go Bruins! Any Bruins out there? Maybe not. Okay. Well, anyway, very warm, beautiful California. Happy to be graduated to do full-time pro-life work now. But very, very astonished during my time in college, because I did undercover projects with other young people and found over the years, again and again, the sexual abuse cover-up at Planned Parenthood clinics across the country, posing as a girl as young as 13 years old, saying, you know, he's 31, what do I do? And I would find the Planned Parenthood staffers at all levels of the organization saying, we don't care. We don't want to know about the abuse. We, in fact, lie about his age, lie about the age of your age, lie about his age, and we'll get that secret abortion for you. No one will find out. We'll find a way to circumvent the parental consent law or the parental notification law. In Indiana, when I posed there as a 13-year-old girl in 2 different clinics, they sent me to this state, saying that I could come here because no one would report on the secret abortion, and the sex predator could drive into this state for that secret abortion. That was the advice of a manager in one clinic and the nurse in another clinic. That's what's happening in these Planned Parenthood abortion clinics. Well, then, in the last few weeks, we've released even more shocking evidence that not only does Planned Parenthood do the ultimate victimization of that unborn child, and then the victim of that sexual abuse victim, but then Planned Parenthood also victimizes children that are exploited commercially for sex. And the Department of Justice tells us that about 300,000 children in our country every year are trafficked victims. What happens when the majority of these who are girls get pregnant? Where will their predators take them, these abusers? They're going to take them to a place that won't ask any questions. They're going to take them to a place that will cover up the abuse. They're going to take them to a place whose number one priority is abortion. And that place is a Planned Parenthood clinic. And so our evidence in the last month has shown in 7 different clinics in 4 different states, Planned Parenthood workers at all levels of the organization, again, from the manager to the practitioner who did the abortion to the front-level staff person telling who they thought were traffickers of girls as young as 14 that they would find a way to keep it confidential, to get them sometimes a tax-funded discount, and to make sure that they could keep those girls on the street and continue to exploit them. That's what we're funding in our country right now. This exploitation of women, this exploitation of children, and this ultimate exploitation of our unborn brothers and sisters. And it has to stop. It's time to defund Planned Parenthood. It's time to take a stand. And with an all-powerful God who is all just and all loving, as we ask Him in our prayers and put our work in action, we will see an end to Planned Parenthood's work in our country and an end to abortion. Thank you very much.
Rose. You know, Planned Parenthood has all that money, again, $1 billion corporation, $360 million annually of our taxpayers' dollars. But what we have, if I can get my glove off, my cold hand, what we have is you, grassroots involvement. And I'm honored to call some people up to the podium right now, and if you'll come on up, and then we'll hear from each of you. But none of this can happen unless in each community around this country there are grassroots activists that care so deeply about the sanctity of human life, on your own time and on your own dime, you're doing the pro-life work in the crisis pregnancy centers and all the other areas. No taxpayer funding, all on our own dime. Quite a contrast to Planned Parenthood. We're going to hear from Kelly Gorski, co-founder of Waterleaf Women's Center, Nancy Weber. I guess she has 4 kids. That's a great thing right there. Denise Garcia, another pro-life activist. Carol Ann Parisi, founder of the Great Awakening. Ann Scheidler, Vice President, Pro-Life Action League. Come on up, ladies. Susan Laskowski, Corporate Site Manager of Women's Choice Services. Jeannie Yeagley, member of the Great Awakening Group. And Shannon Buckner, local pro-life activist. Come on up, and we want to hear from all of you.
I'm Ann Scheidler, Vice President of the Pro-Life Action League. I've been a pro-life activist for over 38 years. Something else to applaud. I have 7 children, including 3 daughters. And
I'm sorry. I need another arm.
In about 3 weeks.
I'll start one myself.
I have talked with countless women who went to Planned Parenthood thinking that they actually cared about women, and who discovered too late that they had been lied to about the life they carried in their womb. Every day, these women face the reality that they took the lives of their own children. I have stood in front of Planned Parenthood clinics all over the station and have seen the anguish and sadness on the faces of women as they enter those clinics and as they come out of those clinics. I recently met a woman in Washington, D.C., one of those women who went to one of those clinics. Her name was Catherine. She had an abortion 38 years ago, right after Roe v. Wade became legal. And she told me it was the worst decision of my life on the worst day of my life. It is unconscionable that our government, which, as the Congresswoman told you, is you and me, are contributing to the destruction of our nation through abortion by giving $1 million a day to Planned Parenthood. $1 million a day to keep on promoting their anti-family, anti-woman, anti-child agenda. It is time to cut off Planned Parenthood. We need to protect women and children from their number one enemy, Planned Parenthood. Thank you.
Those are hard acts to follow. I don't know how I drew this short straw, but good afternoon. I'm Kelly Gorski. I am the co-founder and board president of Waterleaf Women's Center, which is a crisis pregnancy center 1 block away from the largest Planned Parenthood facility in the Midwest. First of all, on behalf of all of us who truly care about women's health care and the health care of the women leaders who will never be born, I want to thank Congressman Hultgren and Congressman Walsh for their support, and all the Illinois Republicans and Democrats that voted in support of the Pence Amendment. Their decision to vote on defunding Planned Parenthood is not only the morally correct choice, but it's really the only logical choice for an economically struggling government. I have heard those of you who have defended Planned Parenthood, and they all left, so unfortunately I've got my message for them. Hopefully there's a few of them out there that are learning something. You claim that you provide critical care to women that can't be found elsewhere, and that most of the public supports it. If that is true, then you should have no problem raising the money on your own, like the rest of us who are truly not-for-profit. If there are so many willing to support you in such a noble cause, then solicit the funds from them. Why are you afraid to do that? Could it be perhaps the public does not support the majority of your work, and that your intentions are not so noble, and that most people see right through you? And if you feel that the majority of your work is providing critical services like mammograms and pap smears, why not drop the services that most Americans find objectionable and optional? Could it be that perhaps you're not truly looking out for women, but you're looking out for your own bottom line? And it's apparent from those who have left the organization and those who have investigated the organization that that is so. And finally, since when did recreational sex become health care? If you want to have sex outside marriage, why should taxpayers fund your contraception? And even worse, your abortion when that fails. Unfortunately, I worked in the pharmaceutical industry and I marketed oral contraceptives for 9 years, so I know firsthand that birth control is not health care. Waterleaf Women's Center does not exist because Planned Parenthood is servicing their clients so well and they have so many satisfied clients. Our center exists because every day we're picking up the pieces from the destruction that they leave in their taxpayer-funded wake. The grieving post-abortive women, the women permanently damaged from botched abortions, and the women who simply want the support and the facts to make the right decision. They come to our center because they know we truly care about their physical, their mental, and their spiritual health. Not because they represent a line item on a P&L. I join the others here today and the many thousands we all represent in urging our House representatives and senators to continue to work to cut the wasteful $1/3 billion that our money is given to Planned Parenthood each year. Thank you. Wow, you guys have just energized me. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is on this very principle that we fought against slavery and for the equal rights of all. Yet these rights are denied and have been denied to 50 million American citizens over the course of 38 years. Planned Parenthood annually receives well over $300 million from government sources. It is the largest abortion provider in the U.S. with 78% of their clinics in minority communities. Planned Parenthood was founded by Margaret Sanger, a known racist. Margaret Sanger stated, and I quote, "We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population," end quote. In her writings and lectures, Sanger often referred to the poor, disabled, and minorities as human weeds, parasites, defectives, mistakes, and a dead weight of human waste. Between 1882 and 1968, 3,446 African Americans died because they were lynched in the U.S. Since 1973, 13 million African Americans have died because of abortion. African Americans make up 12% of the population, but 35% of abortions. Abortion kills minority babies at 3 times the rate of white babies. This is a civil rights issue of today. Civil rights leaders in the 1960s charged the abortion industry with genocide. In 1971, Dick Gregory told Ebony magazine, quote, "The deliberate killing of black babies by abortion is genocide." Reverend Jesse Jackson in 1977 letter to Congress wrote, and I quote, "As a matter of conscience, I must oppose the use of federal funds for a policy of killing infants." Planned Parenthood distributed a pamphlet in 1963 titled, "Is Birth Control Abortion?" in which they stated, quote, "An abortion kills the life of a baby. It is dangerous to your health. It may make you sterile so that when you want a child, you cannot have it." We now know that abortion increases a woman's chance of breast cancer by 193%. Yet Komen for the Cure gives Planned Parenthood millions of dollars. Bernard Nathanson, a former abortionist and co-founder of NARAL, stated, quote, "We persuaded the media that the cause of permissive abortion was enlightened, liberal, and a sophisticated one. We fed the public a line of deceit, dishonesty, a fabrication of statistics and figures. We succeeded because the time was right and the news media cooperated. We sensationalized the effects of illegal abortions and fabricated polls. We unashamedly lied, yet our statements were quoted by the media as though they had been written into law. Abortion is now used as the primary method of birth control in the U.S. Since the legalization, the annual number of abortions has increased by 1,500%. The former VP of Finance and Administration for the LA Planned Parenthood has accused California Planned Parenthood of defrauding U.S. taxpayers of well over $180 million. Planned Parenthood representatives have been caught on tape covering up statutory rape, alleged child sex traffickers, and welcoming racist donations geared toward aborting African American babies. Former members of their organization have brought to light the lies that Planned Parenthood has sold to the media, the government, and the American people. I applaud the representatives who courageously voted to defund Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry. And I call upon the Senate to do the same. Taxpayers should not be forced to fund the abortion industry, whose motives are racist and whose sole purpose is the denial of the very rights we hold dear: the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Hi everyone, I'm so honored to be here with the rest of these wonderful women here and a representative that represents our morals and what we believe in. My name is Susan Wasowski. I'm with Women's Choice Services. Don't let the name fool you. People hear Women's Choice, when I pulled up, they said your bus is over there. I said, no. This is my bus. We empower women with real options and true choices. They come into our center broken. We offer them free pregnancy tests. We do ultrasounds, free ultrasounds. The reality is it's not a tissue. Everyone's taught out there by Planned Parenthood, it's not a baby. It's not a real thing. You're facing our centers. We have 4 centers, and we're reaching out to Rockford, and we're also reaching out to Cook County. This is growing. This is what people need in their communities. We also have a Time to Heal program. If the woman has chosen abortion, we have not forgotten about them. You know, we love them too. We understand the mistakes that they make. We have a program of 12-week Bible study called Time to Heal to help these women. So we're all about empowering, not defeating or demeaning them. Because the women that think they make the right choice, many years later and sometimes immediately, suffer the consequences for a long time afterwards. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Randy, for supporting us. And thank you, Lila, for your testimony. We appreciate
Hi, everyone. My name's Shannon Buckner. I moved here from California about 3 years ago. Sorry, Lila. I am actually a Trojan. But anyway, I still love you. Like I said, I moved here from California 3 years ago. I've been sidewalk counseling on one of the busiest abortion clinics owned by Planned Parenthood on the corner of Division and LaSalle in downtown Chicago. And recently, Planned Parenthood decided that they wanted to go ahead and brag about their ability to kill 50 human beings a day on Yelp.com. Yeah, 50 human beings a day, you guys, on Yelp.com. As a woman, this disgusts me. As an older sister to 4 siblings, this really, really ticks me off. And as a nursing student who understands the sanctity of human life from a biological standpoint, but also as a Christian, you know what? I really, really can't stand this. And my taxpayer dollars going to fund Planned Parenthood and their abortion agenda, I'm saying no more. And that's why we have to stand up and we have got to help knock this off. You know that? And I'm so empowered to see so many people, especially so many young, beautiful children standing out here. You know, it's just such a witness to see you guys out here and seeing just how wonderful it is, and it makes me proud to be pro-life. And I just want to say God bless you to the representatives who voted to defund Planned Parenthood. I look forward to seeing the end of the legalized abortion in our country. I'm 30 years old, and I know we will see an end to it. And it's going to start with defunding Planned Parenthood.
Hello. Everyone, my name is Carol Ann Parisi, and I am the founder of the Great Awakening Group. We are a new grassroots group that we knew that we had to be part of this change to make a difference in our culture today, this horrible culture of corruption. We have 5 core values.
Thank you.
And those are constitutional conservatism, limited government, limited taxation with fiscal responsibility, traditional family values, and right to life. I am real glad that my mother made the choice to give life, as we all are here today. Life is the greatest gift from God. But we have other issues at hand, too. Speaking to Planned Parenthood, we've spent hundreds of millions of dollars to fund this failing entity. This entity is failing. It is not doing its job. It is not measured or monitored at all. It has a horrible, lousy, anti-competitive, anti-free market, and anti-capitalistic, as well as anti-American movement behind it. Bottom line, we have to cut spending on all levels. So just from a fiscal point, this is not what our tax-paying dollars should be for. Our tax-paying dollars should not be going to murder babies. You know, the question is, though, do our lawmakers have the guts to do it? Well, today we stand here to thank Congressman Hultgren as well as Congressman Walsh for staying strong to the principles that they ran on to defund Planned Parenthood. And we do stand behind them and we stand with them. Our government is in big trouble. Our government is in really big trouble. We are going to have our day of financial reckoning if we keep going down this path. This president has failed to show leadership on the budget battle. The president's latest proposal fails to reduce the massive $14 trillion debt that is crippling our nation. He tries to claim he is freezing spending for 5 years, but all that does is lock in his unbelievable high spending that Pelosi and Reid helped him set up over the past few years. America and her prosperity lies in liberating our economy from the shackles of big government and its out-of-control spending, as well as what we are promised in our Declaration of Independence, our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Congressman Hultgren and Congressman Walsh did the right thing for America. If we do not cut spending on all levels, we will have our financial reckoning day. And if we do not stop Planned Parenthood from doing what they are doing, we won't have our American children. Our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren are going to be suffering because of this. Because there's someone that's looking upon us in heaven saying this is not what a country is to be doing, is killing their unborn children. Thank you.
I didn't want to cut you off. Come on.
Thank you. Well, it's pretty much all been said, so I'll just keep it really short since everybody's freezing. But, you know, there is a constitutional basis to tax for the general welfare. But what goes on in abortion clinics has nothing to do with wellness. It has to do with making people not pregnant, who are pregnant, and it has to do with death. Killing of innocent unborn children. So that has to stop. The other thing I want to say is that the Pence Amendment doesn't remove funds from family planning. It only removes the funds from places offering family planning who also offer abortion. And believe me, that is Planned Parenthood's bread and butter. So it's so amusing to listen to them over there today as they tried to redesign themselves as this wonderful place that does mammograms and this wonderful place that does pap smears. And where would we be without their wonderful prenatal services? Anybody who would take their child, their unborn child, to a Planned Parenthood clinic for their welfare, for health reasons, it has got to be out of their mind. Absolutely raving mad. So,
The services that they offer are offered in thousands of other places all over the country. When they say that they provide free services, of course, the freeness of those services is limited to certain income levels, the same as Medicare, the same as Medicaid. They aren't providing anything unique. But our tax dollars fund them to a tune of 1/3 of their operating budget every single year. One other thing I'd like to add that nobody's brought up yet is that these clinics give out birth control, and then when that birth control fails, they have you coming in for an abortion. They have a fiduciary interest in your contraception failing if you get contraception from them. So it isn't even a good place for that. It's a bad place for everything except getting an abortion. And we are not for that. The American public is very divided on this, and we should not be forced to give funding to Planned Parenthood through our tax dollars that is not pro-choice. The Pence Amendment is pro-choice because it allows everyone to not give to Planned Parenthood if they choose not to. And all of those saps over there at that pink bus that was here a few minutes ago, if they want to fund Planned Parenthood, they can open up their own damn wallet. I want to fund and I lied. One last thing. This isn't done yet. This battle's not done. We have a senator out there, Mark Kirk. Mark Kirk, who may vote to defund Planned Parenthood if we all send him emails, call his office, get all of your friends and neighbors to do the same, and tell him that the Pence Amendment is pro-choice. We choose not to fund Planned Parenthood. Thank you.
I don't know why she didn't tell us what she really thought. You know, as we're thinking about Planned Parenthood, they require all of their affiliates to provide abortions. What does that tell you? And I learned something on this bus trip. Planned Parenthood does not do mammograms. How about it? All about the women's services. Their money comes from taxpayers. They're all about abortion, not choice. We can look at their evil beginnings. Margaret Sanger, her philosophy is still their philosophy today. But they have gotten by with it. But now, just let me wrap it up by saying again, at a time of fiscal crisis and moral outrage, urge your senators, urge your heroes to stay strong. Let's defund Planned Parenthood. What an opportunity for pro-life people around this nation. God bless you, and thank you so very much.